there, comic friends. I'm Travis, and it's Talking Comics. This is going to be comics for the week of July. I'll get it straight this time instead of saying August. July 24th, 2024. No particular order. Jump right in. What did I think? Resident Alien Book of Life issue number 2. This is all about having the baby. By and large. It was amusing. It's entertaining. There wasn't a lot to the issue. I enjoy the book. Continue to enjoy it. I like Peter Hogan and Steve Parkhouse, their continued journey with these characters. It's got that ad on there, the Sci-Fi Channel show. The two are nothing alike. I mean, there's some very basic nuts and bolts that are the same between the two. The Harry that is in this is a serious person, not a goofball of a train wreck that is in the TV show. But it's still just a lot. It's just a fun book. I love these small little slices things. They were going to hang it up. They were done with the book, but then after the TV show, I guess that inspired them, giving them more cash flow. I don't know what the challenge was or where they decided they weren't going to keep doing the book, but they have clearly changed their mind. They've put out 2 or 3 of these little miniseries, I think, since the TV show launched, I want to say. But like I said, this issue is largely about having their child. Lots of time goes by. We get a little brief moment of the U.S. government, which, of course, always causes problems. Curious to see how it goes. But I just enjoy reading these characters, and their responses to the stuff that's going on around them is just lots of fun. And Astrid having a baby is like anybody new having a baby. It's got all the kind of challenges and adventures that go along with that. So it was some fun. So, Nice House by the Sea. I was apprehensive to purchase this. I feel like the last series that we didn't necessarily get an ending. It felt really strange, and this one's got a new title. Wasn't sure. The art in it is absolutely amazing. The art by Alvaro Martez Bueno and Jody Blair on colors. Just absolutely brilliant stuff. I really like that cover too. And so I was in for the art, if nothing else. Reading through this, like, ooh, a few hints at the very beginning. Hey, this is connected. By the end of the book, it is so connected to the first 12 issues from Nice House on the Lake that I now I'm trying to struggle to remember all the stuff from Nice House on the Lake. It's been almost 2 years. I want to say like December of 2022, I think, is when the last issue of Nice House on the Lake came out. But intriguing in its own right. More so, I think that if you'd read Nice House on the Lake, I certainly, if you were jumping on, I would recommend reading Nice House on the Lake to know more of what's going on in here. The setup with this is handpicked people, not based on there's a Max alien character in this, or whatever they are, as opposed to Walter in the last one. Walter in the Nice House on the Lake picked his friends and loved ones, the people he loved, that kind of knew each other in a small group circle, revolving around Walter. In this Max person just picked like ambitious elite people, and so we're gonna see how they function with each other. Not sure how much we're going to see how they function with each other, though, because the end of this issue immediately throws in Nice House on the Lake stuff. So I'm not sure exactly how that's all going to play. Very curious to find out. Happy to be reading it. I was apprehensive to order it because I felt to some degree, with Nice House on the Lake that maybe we had, as readers, had been duped into not getting a total story. Well, the rest of the story is there. You're titling part of it differently. And I'm really interested to see exactly what goes on. And like I said, once again, brilliant art in it. Issue 11 of The Flash. We get back to just being The Flash, none of the crossover shenanigans or hintings and whatnot. Still really enjoying this book. This one centers a lot more around family and not forgetting that, for our main hero to not completely lose his moorings as far as what he's going to do and where he should go. We see who our main villain once again is in this, shutting down most of the rogues gallery, and whatnot, and be curious to see how I'm really enjoying it. I just am really enjoying it. I hope at some point we get back to the Delgado art. I find Perez fine, tells the story and whatnot, but I remember those first issues, those first, I don't know, 4 or 5 issues that were Delgado art. The style of it just really made it cool on top of an interesting story. So I hope we can get back to that. But still really enjoying The Flash. Surprisingly, I don't, like I said, not a Flash fan. It's been, but it's been a really interesting adventure with all the flashy kind of things, with the bending of time and space, with the Speed Force and all the other forces, and how they're all related to time. And the main villain in this is going to shut down time, because then that will solve all their creation problems that they have. So interesting stuff. Next up, we have The Sacrificers. This is issue number 10. This is the first issue with our new artist on the book for 3 issues, I believe. Andre Lima Rojo? Terrible at names. And with Dave McCaig still doing the coloring. I really think that Dave McCaig still doing the coloring makes it solid. This, by and large, I can tell there's a difference between the two artists, but the coloring of it makes the book cohesive and whatnot. This issue is mostly focused around this character. It largely has been Pigeon centric the last couple issues, so now we're going to get a run with her. I'm almost betting that the next 2 issues are going to be her, just based on hey, let's do this artist, let's have it run with her. Been a while since we've seen her. The last time we saw her, this oozy black thing had absorbed her or covered her, or we weren't sure what. She's sick, she's poor. This is largely about her trying to figure out how is she going to operate in society when she doesn't have all the stuff that she had, all the bells and whistles. She's a princess, everything that comes with that's all been stripped of her. Nobody believes who she is, and she's harboring a monster inside of her. So, and the end of it, kind of, our characters are crashing together in a sense, by 6 degrees of separation, basically. She hasn't run into Pigeon, but she's run into people who know Pigeon, not that she knows Pigeon. So I'll be curious to see how that plays together. Super solid story, really good storytelling. Right now, it is my favorite of the Rick Remender books that are out, and there's quite a few Rick Remender books out right now. But I'm enjoying the storytelling of this one the most of all of them. It keeps us informed. Each issue builds upon the world and builds upon all the characters that are in it, and just solid storytelling. And then we have issue 53 of Monstess. Our war continues to build. We're starting to see the planning behind the scenes and behind reality to defeat the Blood Warlord, to get Zin back, our giant elder god that has been stripped of our main character, and to get Zin back and overthrow her father, the Blood Lord, and stuff. There's too long, too much for me to give you a truncated version of what is happening, which is fine. But brilliant art continues. Exciting stuff at this point. I think there's some more surprises coming, and I'm looking forward to those surprises. Local Man, issue number 12? Issue 12. it continues to just be a joy to read. By the end of this, a big shoe drops. I don't know what's going to happen in the next issue. Local man may have lost it by the end of this with some information that he was given. See how that is. I love the guy's dog, Pepper. You see that in this cover here, this scary looking thing. Pepper's absorbed this evil spirit, basically. Maybe the dog is not invulnerable. They kind of imply that the dog is invulnerable, so we'll see how that part of it plays out. But I don't know. I just love the way he rolls with stuff that's around him and whatnot. And it's really cool and really enjoyable. And I'm, like I said, curious to see how he's going to solve this whole cult problem. He thought he had a team up help, and that team up help is not help by the end of the issue. So curious to see what happens next with this guy in his kind of tragic superhero life. Something's killing the children. This is issue 39. This is another one of those backstories of her on the road. I actually really enjoy this one. I've been kind of grumbling about these because they haven't really given us anything new about Erica. This one, she actually sits down with a psychologist or psychiatrist for a little bit. That has some interesting stuff in it. Some good think about things, storytelling and whatnot. I'm still really curious what's going to go on with the book. At what point do we get back to the main story? I also wondering that because Werther Deleandra, the artist on this, is going to be doing a run of DC books. Some of the new DC books that are coming out. I'm drawing a blank on what character they are working on. They're going to be doing some corporate comics. And I can't imagine that they can do that and this at the same time. Maybe they can. Maybe they're like Jack Kirby and they can produce 74 pages of comics a month. They would be a first. That's a very rare kind of a thing. So I don't know. I don't know if this takes a big long hiatus after this, or I'm hoping not. I want to get back to our really seriously main story that's going on with these characters, and what's actually happening and whatnot. So yeah. But I did like this one more. Less criticism about why are they telling us these stories, because largely these kind of things are informing us about who Erica is, and they've all been kind of duh. We already know that Erica's that way. But this one, gave some other food for thought, which was nice. Oh, then Hello Darkness, issue number 1. So this is out by Boom Studio. This is a horror anthology, and I thought, sweet, this will be cool. It's got a giant laundry list of creators there that make you think, man, this could be a lot. This could be cool. Is all right. There was nothing that kind of blew me away in it. There's a few little one panel horror comics in it that I thought were actually more fun than some of the other stuff. This page, I Can't Take You Anywhere by Hack, had some pretty good horror type jokes in it that I was amused by. The listing on here of I think they have Tula Latoy on the cover. Do they? Maybe they don't. I guess they don't. She just does some splash pages in here. Some of them I'm not sure if there's going to be more afterwards. This one was a pretty good one. About a siren and whatnot. There was a little split in here that is Something is Killing the Children, which I was kind of surprised that's what they would choose. I mean, it's clearly horror comics, but that's what they would choose for it. The opening story, I have to admit, I kind of liked it too. It was intriguing. Jude Nelson Doyle and illustrated by Kedani, I want to say. It has to do with it's called Contagious. The kids in this town are killing all of their parents. So it's kind of interesting. Curious to know if we're going to find out. We don't really find out what. I mean, it is its own short story. It's kind of cool. It's this kind of let's save society, and the way they're saving society is pretty brutal. I mean, I'm going to pick up some more issues of it. This was the Becky Cloonan and Garth Ennis book, which was okay-ish. I mean, there was nothing that knocked it out of the park. There was some stuff that were interesting, but nothing just kind of was like, oh wow, this is special. But it was good. Next up, we have Zatanna bringing down the house. Once again, it's all about the art, or largely about the art. Javier Rodriguez just knows how to. He has a cool style. That's just all there is to it. It's just a really cool style. Interesting book. We get more backstory about Z and some choices she made as a child, the traumas that happened there. Her now I'm not doing magic at all. Demons show up. A stranger helps her out, says, hey, I need some magic. Help me out. And Z, I don't do magic. Some stuff happens. Some magical stuff happens anyway. She goes and meets a whole group of magicians who basically admired her father. Her father was the main person of this group. She's responsible for what happened to her father. As far as they're concerned, dad's gone. And they want to hold her accountable, and she just keeps saying, I don't do magic. And so they take her home, and we'll see what happens next. But the art in it is absolutely fabulous. I'll crack it open here just to show some of the art. His stuff is just really cool. Has its own cool vibe, cool colors. Does he color it? Yep, he's the colorist too. Here's the dream sequence back with her father to kind of give us a sense of what happened there. That's all grays and whatnot, which is pretty freaking cool. But I showed you that page. Just an excellent, enjoyable story, and just like I said, really really cool art. So yeah, good stuff there. And finally this week, it is the final of the whole One Hand and Six Fingers. This is Six Fingers issue number 5. We get the end of this character's story. I really enjoyed these two books together. By the end of this though, I definitely feel like, man, you needed to have read both. If you didn't read both, you're missing out on a big piece. Of why this is all it is. They don't spend a lot of time at the airport at the end of this one. Some code gets finished. It opens up the door to this. Sure, it's a horror comic, but it's also closer to Blade Runner, I feel like, in some ways, in the whole, what is life, what is sentience, what is what is that sort of thing? What is it to have consciousness? What is it to be your own person when there are other people who think that they are the sole owners of that? I think there's lots of hints of that by the end of this issue, but still really enjoyed these two works together. This was the Dan Waters one, and but just really cool, and the way it ends is like, wow, this is all kinds of trauma at the end of this one. I'm curious, looking back now on the One Hand, when he's like being debriefed or whatever it is that he's doing, is that before what happens here? Because here a code gets released, and a lot of the writing on the wall gets finished. And it causes what I would assume is massive amount of chaos. And so do the pieces get picked up from that or not? I don't know. Leaves lots of open-ended questions. Not open-ended questions I think that would deserve a warrant or would justify more story, like they would do a second volume of any of this stuff. I think that's unnecessary. It just kind of leaves the story for us as the readers, or at least me as the reader, to spend a lot of time thinking about, what are the possibilities? How did this look? What could have gone on here? And that sort of thing. Just really, really liked it. Each issue I felt like built upon the last issue, making it just a quality story, quality art, the whole thing. Just the two books together are quality stuff. And like I said, I'm deeply curious to see how these are collected. I kind of feel like it should be collected in two trades, but not each individually, but them together. So you're reading them. If you're reading both sets, how you would read them together. I mean, I know a few people who haven't, and that's cool. I mean, I totally get the reasons why you wouldn't have picked up both, but the two work so well together. Just really, really good. Yeah, yeah. Good comics. Good comics. That's it. That's it for this week. Hopefully, I'll be back next week to ramble some more and give some thoughts on books for next week. Have a great one, everybody.